Alright, for a better understanding on how the steering works in this trailer on Faymonville trailers, or G&G's Faymonville trailers that we have, just want to show you how the top hat that I call the top hat in the front, the steering, I don't even want to call it, the hydraulic steering in the front for this fifth wheel, where it goes into your fifth wheel. That's the block that you tighten into your fifth wheel. Obviously that's the kingpin. That beeping noise is because that filter needs to be changed right there, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So when you're hooked up to this, you got your fifth wheel locked in on the kingpin, you tighten that block right there into the fifth wheel. That causes, there's hydraulic cylinders inside on top of that hat right there that sends hydraulic oil to the rear of the trailer to steer those rear three axles. So I just want to show you that when you hook up the remote, why it is so important to use a bypass switch underneath the neck when steering with the remote. So we got the remote right here. I got the lights on to the trailer. Plugging it in right now. Paint with one hand. Plugged in. I gotta start the engine. Gas is off, which it always should be when you turn it off. Choke, throttle, start position. In the work position now. We're using the hydraulics. You gotta come here and hit the switch here to go from regular to steering with the remote. Now if you don't have the remote, you can still steer it with these buttons on the side of the trailer. You can watch this. See, now I'm hitting the buttons here. I want to show you what it's doing. It's moving this. Now normally it cannot do that if your fifth wheel is connected to it. It just, because that block would just end up hitting the side of your fifth wheel because you got it locked in. Alright. So now you can actually line those yellow marks up right now. I got them lined up now. But those rear three still need to be lined up. So you hit this switch underneath here. That will bypass the top hat. Watch this. You know, I'm hitting this button. Hitting that button and this is not steering anymore. The only thing steering is the rear three. Now I can go to the back and look at the mark on the trailer, see if those are lined up, but that's not the purpose of this video. Alright, I'll show it to you with the remote. I'm going to turn this back. I'm not going to bypass that. But it's the exact same thing with the remote. Alright, I got that switch turned off, or I'm not bypassing the top hat underneath the neck. Hitting these buttons. And it's steering right here. You can see that it's moving. So in order to steer the rear three with the remote, you must hit the switch turning it. Notice that the top pad is not moving. Only the rear 3 axles are moving. Now this is important because you got your 5th wheel hooked up to the kingpin and that block locked in or tightened to your 5th wheel. That top pad is not going to steer. So you must bypass that in order to steer this trailer with the remote or those buttons on the side of the trailer. And that's all that's needed for this video. See ya.